Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Hope everybody had a great and productive work week so far. I know the weekend's coming upon us. Welcome to your Friday follow up. And I wanted to touch on something very quickly. Hopefully, you'll see it tonight or probably tomorrow over the weekend. I'm doing this about 9:30 tonight. But anyway, I wanted to get this out to you because it's something that's extremely important to all of us within the short sale niche. And any buyers out there that watch this, please take notice of this as well. It's very important, and it really is a win-win situation for all parties involved in a real estate transaction, more specifically a short sale transaction. So what you're looking at real quick is an addendum to contract. You can see obviously here in the state of Florida, this is our addendum. And what I want to talk about is buttoning up your deals. When I say buttoning up your deals, as a listing agent when working with a seller, your fiduciary responsibility is with that individual, and their best interests is really what you're focused on, and serving them absolutely at the best of your ability to do the best by that client. Okay, so what's happening here, and it's rampant, and it's happening a lot. And I know a lot of times, often in the scope of the work that we do, sometimes it's easy to overlook this. We have a short sale lingering on the market for X amount of days. We're eager to get a contract on it. Foreclosure might be looming really quickly. Things like that. So you want to get a contract, and sometimes you can overlook the small minor details, yet are the most important aspects of buttoning up your deal and making sure essentially you go to closing and save the seller from foreclosure, which is the ultimate goal. Okay, so some quick, easy things you can implement into your business this year to protect yourself, protect your seller, and ultimately go to closing and accomplish more deals and save more sellers from foreclosure. So what you're looking at, I'm going to read it right here, but this is an addendum. And what I suggest, and please, any agents out there, talk to your brokers, be respectful, see what they want. They think about this, get their advice. Let's really have a dialogue, a strong dialogue on what's going on out there, and the more questions we ask, the more we talk in general about this crazy niche of real estate that we perform, the better off we all will be. Okay, so what's written here, as you can see, is when a contract is submitted and it's going to be executed, I suggest this addendum be part of the contract. Okay, and what it says is buyer agrees to deposit 1,000, but again, it could be any number there. This is just an example, to whichever escrow account upon contract being ratified. Buyer agrees to forfeit 50% of escrow deposit. Shall buyer cancel within the first 60 days, or you could implement 90 days, 120 days, 30 days, whatever you want to make it, from the date contract is ratified. If seller obtains written approval for the short sale from lender within the first 60 days, you can make that 90 days, 120 days, and seller does not agree to terms and buyers does not agree to potential counter terms, seller will release full escrow deposit to buyer. If after 60 days, no short sale written approval has been obtained, buyer reserves the right to stay under contract or cancel and have full escrow deposit returned. So basically what I'm saying is, I want to button up a deal. I want to know if a buyer is looking at this house and he's writing an offer on this short sale that is essentially a client of mine who's the seller. I want to make sure that he's going to give us at least 60, 90, 120 days to do our job, to work to the best of our ability to negotiate with the lender to ultimately get a short sale approval. And I want to know that he understands fully upfront that it's going to take some time to do. Okay, and because of that, he understands, and he's willing to leave his escrow up front at the time of contract signing. not when the short sale is approved 30, 60, 90 days from now. Why? Because the buyer essentially has no skin in the game. If you remember, if we go back to traditional real estate, it's called a good faith deposit for a reason. It shows good faith. It shows my intent as a buyer to buy this home and show you I'm credit worthy, I'm able, willing, and ready to write a contract and move forward in the process of buying this home. Okay, so I believe escrow should be taken up front at contract signing. Now that might seem very, very simple for some listening to this, but again, you'd be amazed on how many times it's not done. Okay. Secondly, because this buyer understands fully what this transaction entails, they also agree that they'll give us a set amount of time to work the deal. And if at all they decide to leave before that specified time frame within this addendum that's written up front and disclosed and everybody knows, they will forfeit 50% of that escrow deposit. Okay. Now, obviously, if the bank comes back prior to this deadline and these days and they counter offer, they change the terms of the contract, they counter, and the buyer doesn't agree, seller doesn't agree, and terms cannot be met, well, then the full escrow deposit is released to the buyer. If we go beyond the specified time frame in this addendum, and the buyer decides to leave from the deal for whatever reason, then they have their ability to do so, and they get 100% of their escrow back. Again, so kind of simple, but I just wanted to specify. I think this year we really, as a community of real estate professionals, should crack down on having discussions prior to the contract being taken and really doing our due diligence on the buyer, on the buyer's agent, and that's vice versa for buyers as well. The buyer doing their due diligence on the listing agent and the seller. Before we enter into these contracts, we move forward to negotiate with the banks, and buyers walk from the deal. The seller's left holding the bag because they've taken their property off the market for X amount of days, and they could have lost a real buyer who would have saved them from foreclosure. A buyer is out there spreading contracts all over the place, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's not doing them any good whatsoever. Things like that. The agent can't do the work that they need to do. They have to relist the property. It's taking more time to do something. The market's suffering because we're not getting contracts closed in the amount of time and the efficient way that we know we can. So, I truly believe it's a win-win. Listen, you guys know me. I can go on and I can talk and talk. But anyway, this is something that's very, very important, and I think we all should implement it. If you have any questions, call me. You know my number. Email me. Text me, whatever. Let's talk about it. Let's get the brokers on the phone. Let's talk to them. Let's see what we can do to fix the short sale problem in our community together. I'm very passionate about it. I got a lot of great plans this year, and I'm dedicating myself to streamlining this niche of real estate that unfortunately is still like the Wild West. So anyway, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Be busy, be productive, be successful. Take care.